Hey folks, Ryan Pelton here on the road. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to ETA Files. Greatly appreciated. This week I'll be sharing a special conversation with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tony Roi. Thank you for tuning in. Tony has inspired so many ETAs with his talent, his passion for singing and entertaining. I think you're really going to enjoy this. Now, this interview captures a really raw and real moment in Tony's journey. So bear with it. Bear with the audio. It's not perfect. But I'll tell you what shines through is Tony's legacy, his love for entertainment, and of course, the impact that he's had on this incredible industry, the Elvis Tribute Artist world. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for understanding. And enjoy this heartfelt tribute to the one and only Tony Roi. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the ETA Files. I'm Tony Roi. Get ready.
I'm so excited this week, ladies and gentlemen, on the ETA Files. I bring in a legend of the legends, and this guy is awesome. If you know anything about legends in concert, or if you're just an Elvis Tribute Artist fan over the years, this guy is something special. The legend himself, the one and only Tony Roi. Thank you so much for joining me, brother.
Hey, good to have you. Good to be here, man.
Awesome, dude. So Tony, you're a legend, like I said, in this business, and it's really cool to have you on, man. I'll tell the folks a little story. When I first started in this business, there was I've only been in it for 3-4 months. Knew nothing about Elvis, and I got invited to go down to just the other side, over the river, Cincinnati, Ohio, Newport, I think it is, to the Syndicate.
Oh my God!
And Tony Roi was performing. First time I ever saw you. Your reputation, everybody knew who you were and whatnot, but that was the first time I saw you. And dude, I knew right then and there that I had a long way to go, but I also knew that I wanted to be like Tony Roi, because Tony Roi, as amazing as he is, was out there being Tony Roi. He was an entertainer.
Yeah.
Not just a pure Elvis. He was out there entertaining, and it was so fun to watch. And it was the same joy I got watching Elvis just be Elvis, you know? That's the thing. Yeah. Elvis never had to say, I'm going to try to be Elvis today. He was just being himself, and that's what you were doing. And it was beautiful. And I realized that is the kind of joy I want to have on stage. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It's the only reason I'm still doing it to this day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's awesome. So, man, let's talk about you. How did you start in this business? I mean, did you grow up like in a musical family? How did this all begin for you?
My background is very amusing, because my parents and their background from Havana, Cuba. They came to this country in early 1960. I was born in 59, October 8th. And I consider myself the last 59 Cadillac. So I was put together in Cuba. And my influence in music started with the musical background of my family, constantly listening to music. Rock and roll was a new thing, and the Beatles were taking off. So right there between 63, 64, 65, we moved to New Jersey, in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, man, you were right there by the city, huh?
Yeah. And how do I say that in Newark, New Jersey at that time, and that year, the riots were at its biggest
Right.
heights. And so I grew up seeing the military, the division between colors. And so I grew up in that world, watching all this racial, and took a lot of in when Martin Luther King died, Robert Kennedy was shot. So that's what's in my mind of the music generation. At that time, that was Gary Puckett
Yeah.
and the Union Gap.
Yeah.
And it was Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, Al Green. And these are the guys that were always on the radio.
Right.
And I was watching television with my cousins and watching their performance. And that was food to me. And there was an incident that happened. I talked the Cuban language and I skipped things. Crazy. But during that time, Elvis Presley, they were having a lot of weekend musical movies like Kissing Cousin.
Yeah, man.
And I remember I was heavily influenced by Kissing Cousin, the song.
Yeah.
Kissing Cousin. And one of those moments, the teacher was talking to the class and told me if I was paying attention to what she was saying. And I just completely drifted away, daydreaming about Elvis Presley of that song, Kissing Cousin. So she said, why don't you share that with the class? And I had enough nerve to go in front of the class and sing.
That's awesome.
And I sang Kissing Cousin. Well, I got a girl that wants a lot of love. I'm sorry if I sound goofy, it's because I'm hearing differently in my ear.
Yep. Yeah, there's just a little bit of a weird audio thing. It's all good though, man.
I just want to get that across.
Yes, absolutely.
That's where it started. The influence. And one thing led to another, brother, and putting bands together. I think my first rodeo was in 1978. I went to Memphis, Tennessee, and there I got to meet various people that were heavily connected to Elvis. Linda Thompson, met her. She took me to her house with her parents, and the car that Elvis bought for her, which is a blue Lincoln.
Right.
I got pictures of all that. One day I'm going to write a book and showcase those pictures.
For sure.
So one thing led to another, and I met Joyce Biddy, and Joyce Biddy happened to be a good friend of Elvis Presley. Ed Parker had a book that came out, I think it was called Inside Elvis.
Right.
And he lived in Pasadena, California. And we went to California to meet him so I can do the soundtrack of that particular movie with Ed Parker. So I went to his house in Pasadena, got to talk to Ed Parker. He had the huge cape of Elvis Presley that he threw away in Hawaii when he was doing the satellite. And he had that displayed on his hallway and the glasses. And so we talked for a while and told me that he would be interested in recording my voice for the 70s. And so that was the first go at it for a full-time Elvis Presley project.
Awesome, man.
And
that's a big
that's
deal.
How it started.
Yeah, that's a big. That's how you started. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was. It was in between. There were nightclubs,
right?
In Memphis, I went to the Hernando's Hideaway. I'm pretty sure you heard about that.
No, I haven't.
Hernando's Hideaway was the club, and I performed there for a whole week, and got to meet everybody. Charlie Hodge was there. All the people that were used to hang out with Elvis in the late 70s, they were there. And so I got to talk to them, and I wound up going to Las Vegas in 1978, September, October 78. I went to Las Vegas, went to see Tom Jones at Caesar's Palace in 1978. Went to the Hilton, drove around Las Vegas, and I heard Johnny Hara on the radio. And I said, "Who is this guy?" And got to meet Johnny Hara. I think he was playing at the Dunes, or I think it's the Sahara. And I said, I can do this for a living.
Yeah,
I can definitely, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Well, in spades. I mean, that's interesting. You met Johnny Hara. Didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he like end up dead in the desert or something like that? Wasn't there something like that happened?
Yeah, I met his brother. You met his brother?
No, just know the stories.
He died of cancer.
Okay.
He had I think a prostate cancer. Yeah, he had prostate cancer.
There's a couple of those. I mean, that's you're talking about right after Elvis Presley passing away.
Oh my goodness gracious! Rick Saucedo was performing at Broadway at the Park Theater.
Yeah,
I went to see him.
Did you really?
Yes, I went to see Rick Saucedo.
I've worked with Rick a couple times. I've got some great stories about him too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh.
You guys are cut from the same cloth, man. It's so funny.
Really?
You guys
That's
are
the. That's good to hear that, brother.
Well, you think about it. Like here we are. Elvis Presley would have been 90 years old come up January 8th. Here we are. He passed away at 42. And here we are today, 2025 almost, still talking about this cat. You and guys like Rick and whatnot were around at that time when he passed away. So you were the first ones to kind of create this thing, There's a lot of guys that you'll hear say, "Oh man, I was the first one ever to do that." And maybe you were, but you weren't Tony Roi. You weren't, the Rick Saucedos of the world. You guys literally started this thing and fortunate for everybody else who's come, you know, after. You guys did it the right way, man. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure that goes a long ways. Those compliments are nice to hear.
Oh man, it's well deserved. So I'm thinking that, okay, you're traveling around, you're performing late 70s into the 80s, clubs and all kinds of things, different opportunities back then, I think too, than maybe that there are today. Today it's a little different, but you still had clubs.
Well, you know, I guess one of the biggest point in my life was I was in Florida, and I had a group. It was called the Tony Roi and the Florida T-Birds. I don't know if you can look that up, but I did about 2 years doing club. Pickles was the last one that I did when Legends was performing in Marco Polo Hotel in Miami Beach. Max Pelicano went over to see me perform. And he was leaving at that time Legends in Concert to pursue acting. And so he was looking for a replacement. And so Jon Stewart came to see me at Pickles. So he saw Tony Roi performing Raw. And it started, you got to go to Vegas.
Listen up, buddy. Listen up, buddy. Yeah. I'm going to audition you. It's going to be great. Listen, buddy.
That's right. Nothing has changed. He's still the same. Yeah. I talked to him not too long ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
This good friend here is Tony Roi. He's not only the Elvis in my show, but I consider him one of my best friends.
How is he?
He's fabulous. He's going to get all excited. He's going to get the adrenaline going. And he's going to go out there and he's going to roll that audience over and he's going to throw them up in the air and he's going to sock it to them. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, he's doing good. Johnny, man. He's a genius.
Yep. Do you remember the Legends video? I forget what it was called. Legends in Concert, something, but it was basically you were a big part of it coming in and
I was taking Jonathan.
Yeah, you were taking over Jonathan's spot at the IP in Vegas, and Johnny's on stage, you know, being Johnny. He's like, I'm going to teach this kid how to sing. Hey, Tony, I want you to go, wah.
That was funny. Did you see that?
Yes. Got the video.
I was laughing.
Oh, dude. When I saw that the first time, my wife, Amy, showed it to me. And
how is she doing?
She's awesome, man. She's awesome.
She's awesome. I worked with her.
Yeah, I know.
Myrtle Beach.
Yep. And she remembers you, and it's awesome, man. Like, there's so many stories. Of course, once you got into Legends, I mean, like I said, the thing that's really cool about Legends in Concert and why you were an awesome choice for Legends in Concert is because, you know, like today, there's this really hardcore Elvis community. All right.
Yes.
I love Elvis. But with Legends in Concert, you know, people come out, they might be Elvis fans, they might not be Elvis fans. The best compliment you get is, I don't really like Elvis, but I enjoyed you. That's why you were I think you were God sent for Legends in Concert, because you could be entertaining. You didn't have to like Elvis to be entertained by Tony Roi.
But see, I see this opportunity. When I see you, I see a face of Elvis Presley. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you look at Ryan Pelton, it's Elvis. And my goodness, come on, Ryan, you got the Elvis look.
Oh.
And you can't hide that. That's that's a stamp. That no matter where you go, you're going to be Elvis.
Hey, I was lucky to have it because it made up for a lot of lack of talent in other areas. But
Oh,
that being said,
I don't believe that.
Tony, the history of you with Legends in Concert, I mean, you were in Vegas, you took over Jonathan's spot, and then you went to Atlantic City. And I mean, this is like in a time when there were real like national act kind of people performing at these casinos in Atlantic City. Atlantic City was booming kind of back then.
Oh, yeah.
And here you are, you're getting Entertainer of the Year.
Yeah.
In Atlantic City with Legends in Concert. I mean, that's next level, dude.
Yeah, man. But you know, I tell you that. I gotta go back. Let me rewind up a little bit. That happened when I went and left Legends in 1989. I did my last tour with Legends in Japan. When I came back from Japan, the Imperial Palace and Jon Stewart and me, we had a disagreement in a lot of departments. And so I did my last leg of that particular tour in Boston. And that was around March and April of '89. Then we opened Broadway. We did Broadway at the Academy Theater. And that's another level. That's the epitome of theaters. New York, I got invited to go to Letterman. I did all my children, the soap opera, Regis and Kathy Lee, the Today Show. I was interviewed by all the media in New York. And to top it off, they could not advertise me with a jumpsuit because he had a lawsuit going on with the Elvis estate. So I could not be shown with the Elvis image.
Right.
So they had to blacken my neck down all over the New York billboards, taxi, buses. So I was the man in black. I was Bela Lugosi. I would swear to God.
That's awesome.
That's a true story.
You were on, I didn't know that you were on Broadway. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. That was it. That was it for me. I thought Johnny, after what happened to him with the lawsuit, that he was going to take that fame because what happened to me, not performing as Elvis. I had to perform with a tuxedo and not do any Elvis song except for My Way and other songs that wasn't Elvis Presley signature. So I was doing completely different song selection in Broadway among Liberace, Nat King Cole, the Beatles, Judy Garland, and the press was not nice at all to Legends. They called them the stiff ones. And save your money and go see Tony Roi. Go see Tony Roi in Broadway.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Johnny had an opportunity to launch my career. That was it. And then we did Boston, and then I met a promoter. Oh, God. This promoter was, her husband was a general in Hawaii. Her name is Corolla Jameson. And she wanted to give me an opportunity to go to Hawaii and perform at all the military bases and theaters in Hawaii. So I took it. I took that chance. When I came to Hawaii in 1990, in May of 1990. And in that time, I assembled musicians. I played the concerts along with Cool and the gang. We were part of that ticket.
Right.
And I started recording my original songs with Rendezvous, Pierre Grill. He was my producer. I paid him to do all my songs that I wrote.
Right.
While I was doing that, I accumulated 35 songs
Awesome.
ready to send them out. And I was doing it. I was sending out all my material to these record companies. Got one big one, MCA, Los Angeles, run by the same guy that was involved with Gladys Knight's production. And they started a new label, and they wanted me to sign up with them. At that time, I met a lady friend who was working for Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yeah.
Her name is Kathy Sweetheart. And I met Engelbert at the suite where Elvis stayed. So I was in that same suite with Engelbert, sitting down at the bar where Elvis stayed. And here I'm getting advice from Engelbert. And one of the best advice he gave me, he says, Tony, we are therapeutic. We are therapeutic people. That's what we do. So he let me know what my position is in life as far as being a singer and what we do to people. And so I took that advice seriously. And so my approach to life with my music, it had to come from the heart. And that's the only way I know how to communicate with the audience. It's give them a piece of me to them. In the Elvis dress and the costume, it was Elvis Presley was a master of the image. He was a strong person that believed in an image. And actually, he separated the image from a man. So you have to understand that what we do on stage is totally an image. It's not our real selves. And so if I want to go deeper in a ballad, a message song, I relate to what I really feel, and I express it the way I want to sing it, and it comes out naturally. And I got in the way with that. And that's what, I think that's what the secret is. I don't know, that's what works. It works for me. Right.
Well, what you're talking about is like a genuine acting technique, like instead of pretending to feel the emotion, actually feel the emotion,
Right.
And,
right.
dude, you definitely sell it and you can tell it's genuine. And you know, there's a little thing in the human body or whatever, the mind. You can tell when something's fake. You know.
Yeah.
Guess what? Tony Roi is not fake.
You're so good, man. You're so good. You're a good man.
Oh, dude, you're awesome. So, you know, you go through this, you have this legendary, amazing career. And then, you know, you went through some bumps over the past few years.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we all do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We all have bumps in the road.
How are you doing,
That's
man?
true.
Because I mean, I know so many people ask me almost every day, literally
Really?
multiple times a week. Hey, man, how's Tony doing? I want to be able to tell people, how's Tony doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I had an accident. I fell, hurt this side of my head, all the way back here. And I recuperated. I died twice.
Wow.
And my wife took a beating going through all that.
Yeah.
And that was hard for her, the children. And that's all behind me now. And you know what? I can't let go of what I'm here to do. I mean, I was saved for a reason, I believe. I really truly believe in that. I have a second chance to do what I have to do. And that's continuing the original stuff that I shelved for many years that never was used, that I went to BMG Records in Germany, and my music never got to flourish, never got wings. And now it's time to do my music. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now.
That is awesome, Tony. And I mean, I'm not incredible, but if there's anything I can do along the way to help you get this stuff together, promote you, whatever it is, video, audio, whatever it is, please let me know if I can help you, because I believe in Tony Roi.
Thank you, Ryan. You're the best, man. You really are a good man. Really are.
No. Man,
There's so many of us.
Yeah.
Now, well, we got, my goodness gracious, I was looking at your show, Ryan Files, which I got to say is awesome. I love it. I love your show.
Thanks, buddy.
And I got to see Dean Z, Sean Clash, David Lee, which I think he was an interesting interview. I like that guy. I mean, I watch it all the time. I mean, you may be a fan. I'm a fan of yours.
Well, I want you to get out there and like complete this dream, man, because
yes.
And you're absolutely right. I can see it. And I love the way that you have mentally come around on this, because to realize that you have unfinished business and that God let you, you're here for a reason, and it's time to go. I think that's awesome. And man, whenever you have that sort of motivation in life and you realize it, there's not too much that can get in your way to stop you, man. That is awesome.
But look at you, man. Come on. You did a Hollywood film with major star.
Yeah.
You got to tell me the joke that you told, what's his name?
Ray Liotta. Yeah. Ray
Liotta.
I can't say it on the air, but
but you got to tell me.
I'll tell you next time. It's not that bad, but it is funny at the very end when we give each other a hug and we're sitting there and it looks like we're crying. We're actually laughing. There was an old movie. I forget the name of it, but Ryan Piccolo I loves you, Ryan Piccolo. He kept on saying that all the time. And it just got to be this funny thing. And we were just cutting up laughing while we were hugging. And it looked like we were crying. It was a shot that, zoomed back. But man, I miss that guy. He was awesome. Ray was an awesome human being. You should have met Ray. You guys would have got together. He was a Newark, New Jersey guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You guys would have got
awesome.
along great. Let me ask you a couple fun questions here, kind of rapid fire. Here we go. How long actually in years have you been an entertainer?
My first go at it as a professional started in 1980. 81, I did Executive Inn, which is a massive theater.
Right.
And performed 80 to 84 in Atlanta, Georgia. I was in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And recorded, traveled all over the East Coast.
So
East
basically,
Coast.
Since 1979, 80.
Yes.
So you're talking 45 plus years of entertainment.
Easy.
That's amazing.
I remember I was a young guy. I was 17, 18, 19. I'm 65.
Right.
So that tells you.
That's awesome. What's your favorite Elvis song?
You are a bad guy. Man, I like Suspicious Minds.
What's your is there a difference between your favorite song to sing and your favorite song to perform?
Okay, that's a good question. It's a song that I like to perform. Yeah, perform more than singing it.
Yeah,
it's a good performance song.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Did you see that clip when I was doing Suspicious Minds in 1997? When I did that, Collinwood, I think it's Collinwood in Canada.
No, but I've been there. What happened?
You don't want to hear my side of the story.
Okay.
It's funny because when I saw Sean Clush at your interview, he said that Tony Roi and somebody, I think James Lowry, we never did participated in what is that called? Competition. Being competitive.
Is this the year that you and Sean and Trent Carlini Carlini?
Well, that was a setup. That was a setup.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Trent Carlini came out with a Canadian flag.
Yeah.
I heard all about that.
That was a setup.
Okay.
That was a setup. And that was all kid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the kid stuff. He envied me. He envied me for no reason. I never disliked him. But it was a competition for him. Yeah. I took that as a competition.
I got you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite performance moment? You said Broadway was a big one. Is that probably it?
I did Bette Midler in 2008. I did the Bette Midler show in Caesar's Palace. You know that?
No.
Yeah, I did Showgirls. I have to say, that's the biggest reaction and a many amount of people in that Olympic theater to work with Bette Midler every day for 10 days.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so we did a skit that Elvis was coming down on a cloud advising her not to get discouraged in Las Vegas. And then comes Wayne Newton, and he does his bit. But I did that in 2008, and that was probably the biggest level of an audience surrounded by masses of people,
Right.
with a spotlight killing my brain because it was eating me up.
Yeah.
That's so hot. So hot, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my experience when it comes to the biggest level of performing.
Okay.
Yeah. Had to be Bad Midler.
That-
Bad Midler.
I can see how big that would be for sure. What's the best part throughout your, career? What's been the best part about being an Elvis tribute artist?
Best part of feeling every night, the reaction, the people, when I meet them after the show, after I talk to them, it's the satisfaction that they have when they saw my performance. So I feel it happens all the time when I perform, but I give it the treatment that I need to do. It all depends. It all depends on the audience. But the biggest and the best is the song. If I would do, when I did Andy Williams, the theater,
Right.
and I worked with Andy Williams, I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a quite experience. That's a quite experience. And having Anne Margaret around you. And she could not look at me. She had a religious thing. Don't look at any Elvis eyes. Don't look at anybody who does Elvis in the eyes. So that's why she doesn't look at me.
Wow.
That's her thing.
Okay.
Andy was a perfectionist.
Yeah.
He loved one of my originals that he was going to record. And I felt honored. It was a hell of a trip to be with Andy Williams. He was the best. He was the best.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. If you can meet Elvis Presley today, what would you say to him?
I got to look at you because you look like Elvis.
Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
No, if you could meet Elvis.
I'm looking at Elvis. Stay right there so I can look at you. Because you like Elvis. I got to look at you.
All right.
Elvis, you're one hell of a guy. You put us through a lot of stuff, and we made a lot of people happy. A lot of people in your behalf.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And, there's so many young bucks, Tony.
I know, man. I'm seeing this YouTube.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
We never had any of that, the luxury of any of that
Let me
stuff.
ask you something. Since you're involved, when did this YouTube start?
Oh, man.
The phenomenon.
Decades ago, but slowly but surely, I think, and listen, it's a longer, broader conversation, and the people probably want to hear, but, media, remember that Bruce Springsteen song? I forget what it was called exactly, but 99 channels and nothing on, or something to do with that. That was back in the 80s. And it's the truth, network TV, cable, just throwing a lot of stuff at you that people aren't really interested in, but being forced to get it. And then, all of a sudden people realize, no, they're kind of interested in what other people are interested in. And you get it through like podcasts and stuff like that. And that's why mainstream media and programming, television programming is kind of going by the wayside. And it's more now about podcasts. And I mean, look at Joe Rogan.
Oh my God.
And people people want to hear, that's why the podcasting stuff is really happening well, but has nothing to do with the fact like these young bucks, and you're right, they are using YouTube and whatnot, but man, they don't have any memory of Elvis, or, even their parents weren't even into Elvis or whatnot, but they're into this Elvis thing. It kind of has changed.
How was it with you? I had to ask you. Let me ask you that.
I was alive when Elvis was alive.
How did you get along looking so much like Elvis?
Oh, I ran from it. People said I looked like Elvis since I was,
I know,
a young kid. I went into the Marine Corps out of high school. And
where are you from?
Born in Pennsylvania, grew up in Georgia and Ohio. And yeah.
Nice.
And then I went to boot camp though, in Marine Corps boot camp. They shave your head bald.
You went to boot camp?
Yeah, in the Marine Corps. And my nickname was Elvis. That's not good.
Of course.
But my mom dared me to enter a contest. That's how it all started. And didn't grow up knowing much about Elvis. Not a musical family or anything. It happened. So,
yeah.
But I mean, what advice would you give to these young bucks coming into the business?
Stay honest.
Stay honest. Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. Be honest when you step on that microphone. Be you. Just be you. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be Elvis, it's a good start, because you have to study that Elvis was musical. He was music, vocal. Everything else was put together through the years, the image, that whole thing with Elvis, that mystique. He created that. And it's a good start. If you want to get into business and be a tribute artist, then you do it. Do it right. Do it right.
Yep, for sure, man. Tony, this has been so much fun, man. I don't get a chance to see you as much anymore, and I appreciate you coming on. But do you have any? I know that you're interested in getting your original music out there. Is there any place that you have social media or anything like that so people can follow and stay up with it? And once it's out there, get it?
I tell you what, we're doing it now. I'm talking to Isaac, my cousin.
Okay.
And he's helping me put this unit to work, to get the records, my new schedule of performing. And right now, I'm just putting all my music and getting ready to record my new phase, my new thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Tony Roi's coming back.
That's right, baby. That's right. Well, listen, brother, I'd
like to record you.
I want to listen to you. How's that sound? You do the recording, buddy. I got my hands full doing everything else, but I'll tell you this, when you hit it, and you will hit it, come on back, man. Remember the little people.
As long as I heard that from you, I will do it.
All right.
I will do it. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word.
I love you. All right. Stay in touch. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Tony Roi.
I love you.
Thanks for tuning in this week to the ETA Files. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join
the ETA Files community. And if you're looking for something a little different, be sure to stop by my podcast, The Ryan Files. Keep rocking, my friends, and I'll see you next week with another story from the Elvis Tribute Artist world. In the meantime, check out these video links below.